Did you look at my avatar?
What? Yeah.
Did you look at my avatar?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Look at the Jake back
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's nice.
And did you see a little fin on my head?
Yeah.
Look at the flame.
Yeah. Can you,
Don't let her get away.
What?
Is that a skirt?
Where's the mirror?
See the panties.
I don't know if it's a skirt.
What the fuck? Oh, it's not. It's just like really short shorts. So how come you don't want to talk about animal
I was here the
ethics?
whole time.
No, to be honest with you, animal ethics? What are you talking about?
Well, you said you were a hunter and
What up, dog?
Oh.
I don't hunt anymore. I used to when I was
Oh, yeah.
like 15, 14.
what did you use?
This is I used a Model 870 12 gauge shotgun.
Well, I don't want to be like pushy, but did you actually want to talk about the ethics of hunting and like meat eating?
You gotta change your avatar though. That ain't working.
Hang on. Ethics as in like killing stuff?
Yeah, like whether or not it's okay to kill animals, eat them.
I mean, lay it
I
on me,
love
dude.
your rainbow shirt.
Okay, cool. Well, you've probably never heard of this argument before. Well, it's more of a challenge. It's called Name the Trait. So, basically, my argument is animal rights, animal ethics, it's a logical extension of human rights. So, you know how we say, it's wrong to kill a human, it's wrong to, kill and eat a human. That same principle can be applied to animals very easily. So my challenge to you is, name a trait that is lacking in animals that if we're also lacking in a human would also justify killing and eating a human.
So, wait a minute. So, name a trait or trade?
Trait. And it doesn't even have to be just one trait, it could be even a series of traits.
Name a trait that... That's a deep question, Jesus.
Because, like, if animals were exactly the same as people, you would have an issue killing animals, right? Like, if you could actually have a conversation with, like, a rabbit, like we're having now, you probably wouldn't want to kill a rabbit.
I think it's just kind of desensitized now, unfortunately, because the world's just so used to it, and they see an act of hunting as just kind of the way humans eat now and kind of feed. And I'm not necessarily saying I agree with it because my girlfriend's vegetarian, so I mean I'm not totally against it, but like I just feel like it's kind of desensitized in the world, and people just do it, and I don't know, just fucking it's just the way it is, I guess. Unfortunately, I don't know.
So you don't even think it's an ethical thing to do?
No, not really. That's why I don't. I try not. I don't know. It's like a hard subject to talk about because I try not to think of the ethics because I know they're bad, but I don't know.
Like, do you not feel bad about yourself, sort of, that you're doing things that don't even align with your ethical views?
Oh no, I 100% do. Like, I feel bad that like sometimes like okay, this comes from an animal that was once living. I do think about that. Believe me, I do.
So, like, how come you've never like especially since your girlfriend's vegetarian, how come you've never like tried to commit to like a vegan or vegetarian diet?
I have. Yeah, I mean, I have. I have tried vegetarian food, and they're not bad. Like, I tried that like vegan burger from like a restaurant or whatever. I couldn't even tell the difference, honestly, and that's one of the things that drew me away from was the taste, and obviously going meatless would solve that issue entirely, right? But I don't know, that's just one thing that kind of drew me away, I guess. It's just I've just eaten meat my entire life, to where it's just normal for me to eat meat. I've never really considered the fact that maybe I should steer away from it, I guess. And
right, like, I mean, now especially, I went vegan 10 years ago, and even back then, like, meat substitutes were fairly plentiful, but now it's, like, gotten to just insane levels. I mean, there's Gardein, field roast.
Because, because the other thing is, you go to a lot of restaurants near me, and there's hardly any vegetarian options on the menus. And when you ask a waiter, "What's your vegetarian options?" They say salad or
Yeah.
some generic food like that. And I feel like that's another reason why a lot of Americans aren't vegan or vegetarian, because meat is just so plentiful nowadays that people just don't want to go away from meat because the other options that aren't there in restaurants and fast food places and other stuff like that. And so that's a big factor as to why a lot of people don't go vegetarian as well, just because the supply and demand kind of thing of vegetarianism and the food that they have. So
Well, like a big aspect of it is social and just availability. Like I know in some areas, like I'm lucky because I live near Toronto and there's tons of vegan restaurants.
oh yeah, yeah.
But like again, does that really justify killing like innocent animals that are sentient that can experience pain, suffer?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah, I was just actually talking about one of my coworkers about this. Is that the way that the animals are slaughtered, it sends hormones into meat, and it can cause a lot of nasty diseases and shit. Like how pigs are executed and cows are like executed, and they know they're gonna die, and so they send out hormones into meats, and it's really bad for our body. So I agree 100% on that aspect for sure. That's why I think that it's I wouldn't say natural. Hunting's, I mean, I believe hunting is a more natural way of killing an animal, quote unquote, comparing to a slaughterhouse, if you would agree with that, right?
Like, what do you mean by natural?
Natural as in, they're in their natural element when they're killed. So they're not feeling stressed. They're not knowing they're gonna die anytime soon. They're feeding. You know what I mean? They're not in a slaughterhouse where they know other animals, because they know animals do know when they're gonna die.
Okay,
Like
well,
if you're stuck in,
I would
I don't know.
I would say it's more ethical to like get meat from hunting, but the issue is like how much more ethical it is. I don't think there's really that big of a distinction. Like, okay, if Hitler were to have only hunted the Jews and none of them were to have known they were being hunted, and he just like shot them in the back of the head when they were unsuspecting, like I don't see that as a huge moral leap compared to rounding them up and gassing them. You know what I mean?
To interrupt, but Turtles, I'm going to bed. I'll make it up tomorrow. We'll stay up until like 5 o'clock or something. Or we'll play fucking War Thunder tomorrow. Whatever you want to do. Dude.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, that is a. Oh, hey Logan, how's it going, man?
I'm a girl today, not a little boy.
You're an actual girl now.
With boobs?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just. I feel like it's. Obviously. Hello.
Oh, I love your hair. Holy cow. Your hair is good. Oh, that is so awesome.
I can't.
Alright, now I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah,
we should find somewhere more quiet if we're gonna
sure.
continue this, dude.
How about like upstairs or something?
But I think you were talking about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's the other word for more ethical, but not normal, right? I don't want to say normal, but it's just we think back to the dawn of time, and cavemen used to hunt animals for food, and they didn't think anything of it really. I mean, not to my knowledge there were any vegans or vegetarians when cavemen were around, so it's like humans have evolved around meat, and
okay, well, okay, so two things there. You seem to be kind of trying to conflate ethics with this concept of natural. Like there are things that are natural that I think you'd agree are unethical. Like I could say rape is natural. I'm sure we wouldn't even exist right now because somewhere, like if rape didn't exist, I'm sure we wouldn't exist because somewhere in our ancestry, like one of our ancestors was brought into this world due to rape. So, like, I don't really care if hunting is natural, quote unquote. That doesn't really change. Right? That doesn't really change the ethics.
Let me ask you this then. So, what do you think would actually change, majority of Americans' minds to never eat meat again in terms of being, other than being ethical about it? because obviously that's a huge thing. Ethics, like it's not ethical to eat meat.
Sure.
What's another aspect? Because we all know that eating meat in some part of our brain, of course, it's not ethical because this was once a human living thing. But outside of ethics, what would turn away people from not eating meat anymore? That's my question to you, I guess.
Well, aside from ethics, I mean, like, there's personal benefits. Eating meat
Yeah,
is the
of
cause
course.
of our most common chronic diseases, heart disease being the number one. What's the figure? Like, over 500,000 people in the United States alone die from heart disease.
Yeah, some
Vegans
stupid shit like
and
that.
vegans and vegetarians, vegans have the lowest risk of heart disease. But even vegetarian diets, lowest risk of heart disease. So you're massively reducing your risk of death just by not eating meat, and that's just from one disease. Vegans also have the lowest risk of type 2 diabetes, obesity, all cancers combined. Environmental benefits. I don't know if you read the UN's latest climate report, but in Chapter 5, page 76, they go over dietary factors affecting the environment. They found that if everyone were to go vegan, that would reduce global greenhouse gas emissions. I think it was by close to 20%. And it would also provide more food using less land. So we'd actually be able to feed more people. So what was the figure? In 2050, that's what they were looking at. They expect the Earth's population to be like close to 10 billion or something. We'd actually be able to feed more people in 2050 while using less land than we're currently using today if we were to all switch to a vegan diet, which is pretty insane to think that we could feed a larger population in 2050 but use less land for agriculture than we're currently using.
I think another thing is a lot of people are just ignorant about like facts, like what you just stated. All that, a lot of people are ignorant about that,
Oh, totally.
and they don't pay attention to those facts and totally ignore it. And I think that's another big reason, our world's turning to shit. And like you said, and a lot of people don't turn, vegan or vegetarian because of just ignorance, honestly, in my opinion. And they turn a blind eye to killing animals and stuff like that, and they don't really think about it. And it's all ignorance, honestly. But honestly,
Okay, well,
if I were to
it sounds like you're totally agreeing with me. So I'm just wondering, like, why don't you just take the leap and, at least try to make some sort of commitment to a plant-based diet?
see, I definitely would, but I just it's the quantity of places, and I don't know. I've never really looked into it. I feel like if you're gonna turn into vegetarian, or gonna become a vegetarian or a vegan, you need to do your research, and I haven't really done any research about it. If it's what kind of foods I need to eat, what's the amount of what's the price of being a vegetarian or vegan?
Well, it's usually cheaper.
Stuff like
So there are some resources you can take a look at. There's Challenge 22, where I think they actually get you in contact with a nutritionist and they can make a meal plan for you and it's free. I think PETA has a vegan starter kit, so that's something you can check out. And that's free as well. There's also some diet books you can get, like if you're totally lost and you're like completely retarded and you can't like prepare any meals like on your own. My best recommendation would be the Engine 2 diet. So, if you need a diet book, there you go. But there's, free resources online that you can check out. But I understand the lack of convenience with going out to eat and everything. But again, like you kind of agreed with me that this isn't a justification to eat meat. I mean, if there were aliens that existed and they traveled from planet to planet to eat food, I guess, and they wanted meat, and the only meat they could eat were humans. Like, okay, well, if they had access to plant foods, but the only meat they could eat was humans, is it justified to eat humans just because they feel like eating it and they don't want to have to travel to another planet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, I agree with what you're saying as well. And for the most part, I am an animal activist as well. Like, I hate what they're doing. Like, I hate SeaWorld. I hate them. Like, I don't know. you disagree or agree or not. We'll see their ethics about that shit. But I don't, honestly, I don't know why I haven't tried vegan.
Like, especially if your girlfriend's vegetarian. Like, I mean,
yeah,
it's...
she keeps pushing me to try and do it, man. I just don't know, dude. I
think you should go a step further
why.
and go vegan, because vegetarians eat dairy and eggs. I think you should go a step further and completely cut out all animal products. Do you know about the egg industry and dairy industry?
Yeah, I don't drink milk. Because of that, I actually only like drink almond milk and shit like that. So
That's cool.
I kind of cut out eggs as well. I don't really eat eggs or milk because how much steroids and fucking shit they put in actual cow milk.
Sure.
So I cut that out of my life. I only drink almond milk now because of that. So that's a step, right? I don't know.
Well, dude, like,
a step or not,
I think you should also put things into perspective too. Like, most people don't even eat much meat. Like, okay, sure, you might have like a sandwich for lunch, maybe have like some meat for dinner, like chicken. Okay, that's probably only like what 20-30% of your calories at most. I mean, it's pretty easy to replace. Like, okay, rather than having meat, have beans, or rather than having meat, just go to the grocery store, get like Beyond Burger or Gardein chicken or whatever. Like, there's a billion plant-based options at grocery stores.
Turtles, we're playing hot seat if you want to join, buddy.
I think what really holds people back is like what you mentioned, ignorance, not caring, kind of forgetting about things, putting it at the back of your mind. Look, if people did that with you wouldn't appreciate it, right? Like, I mean, if it was your life on the line, where somebody could just choose to, at the grocery store, rather than buying chicken, just buy like a can of beans or a mock meat or something, and that could save your life. I mean, just think about it that way. It's not something that you can really put in the back of your mind. And like, think about this. Hitler killed, it was about 10 million people total, which included about 6 million Jews. Multiple billions, I think the figure is close to 50 billion animals are killed each year. And that's only terrestrial animals. If you actually include sea life isn't calculated by heads of animals, it's calculated by pounds. That would actually, if you include sea life in those figures, that would include trillions of animals. So, like, these horrible atrocities that were committed by, like Hitler, Mao Zedong, Stalin, where they killed millions of people. Well, imagine that sort of atrocity magnified into the billions and trillions, and you're supporting that with your food choices. Like, this isn't something that you should just ignore. I think it should be at the front of your mind, and you should consider it each time you have a meal.
Yeah, I mean, the more talk about it, I mean, me personally, I think am I a little bit ignorant? Yeah, of course, because I do in my daily diet eat meat, I will say. It's probably about 20% of my food that I eat, probably meat, probably lunch. I have a sandwich, obviously, but I don't know. It's not. I don't eat processed food, like all that packaged shit. Like, I don't eat any of that packaged ham or chicken because of what factories do. They put steroids and artificial meat products and whatever the shit they put in there, the plastic stuff. Like, I don't eat that. I try and eat all natural, which is like all natural chicken and stuff like that, where they're not pumping chickens full of steroids to make the meat more.
Well,
juicy,
they banned
they
banned steroid use in chickens decades ago. I think it was in the 70s. What they do is they use antibiotics, and the antibiotics make them grow.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, because I was reading an article somewhere about how they make the chickens so fat to where they break their own legs and they can't walk anymore. And after I read that, I was disgusted, man. I really was. And that does take into account of what kind of chicken I eat, because I always trying to make sure what chicken I'm eating from what company, because a lot of companies they'll label their stuff like especially with cows, like if it says like grass fed, they can get grass fed meat products like cow stuff and stuff like that, but like
Okay, well, there's a few things you should know about this. For one thing, just because something has a grass-fed or antibiotic-free certification, that doesn't actually mean anything. So the USDA doesn't do anything to regulate this. Companies literally just regulate themselves. Whole Foods is considered to have the best sort of standards in terms of like, ethical practices, grass-fed, free-range, antibiotic, steroid-free. There were
just running into so much politics talk tonight.
yeah. So yeah, Whole Foods is considered to be the best. They made their own independent rating system. Well, guess what? If they were investigated by these animal rights groups, a few of these farms that they were claiming were grass-fed, free-range, and everything, they went to the farms, they broke in. Turns out they're just horrible sheds of hell where these turkeys were just crammed in. Just like, your standard factory farmed, chickens that you see, where it's just dark, damp sheds and they're just squished in and they're like rotting to death. So, since the industry is completely unregulated, since the industry is just completely unregulated, you can't count on actually getting grass-fed, antibiotic-free beef or chicken or whatever. And secondly, even if you knew, beyond any doubt, it is, free-range, not factory-farmed or whatever, does that make it ethical? It's like comparing, okay, well, we're hunting Jews rather than rounding up Jews and exterminating them. It's not a huge ethical leap. And on top of that, too, you're saying that you are, like, making a commitment to not go out to eat at places like McDonald's or avoiding processed food. You're making sure you get, like, grass-fed, free-range, antibiotic-free options. If you're going to that much effort, is it really any, like, greater effort to just eat plant-based?
I don't know. Yeah, I keep going back to the point where it's just daily part of my life. I've always eaten meat and I've never known not to eat meat in my life. So the fact that, it's a big change, like for me, I'm not saying it would be a good change, it would be a good change, theoretically and statistically, right? And it's just like...
Well, why would you want to keep doing something that's bad? Like, if you've been doing something so long and you know it's wrong, wouldn't that just make you want to change all the more?
It's just I hate making this excuse, like I really do. But my whole, just my family and my friends, they all eat meat. And it's just, I base my diet around what my family eats, It's probably not obviously not a good thing to do, but I don't know, I've never known not to eat meat. And obviously I could change though, right?
Yeah, you absolutely could. And look, if you put so much effort into your diet already, avoiding processed food, eating grass-fed, free range and everything, why can't you just put that same amount of effort into just eating plant-based?
I think it's just baby steps at this point though, man. I'm making like the...
Oh shit, there's Colin. Holy man. What up, Colin? What's up, man?
Alright, cool. Think about it. Like, if you don't want to contribute to that sort of cruelty, just always know you have an option not to.
Yeah, and the fact that my my girlfriend's vegetarian will probably definitely help my future decision in that decision-making process for sure, though. But yeah, man, it was good talking to you about this subject, though, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Enlightening.
I'm poking your dick.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm
appreciate
poking
it.
your nipple.